Damn. Money. 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 Damn. That echo go crazy. About to blow up. Money. Now I'll take care of Obelisk. Universal Soldier at work right here. That's how you doing, boy. Hey. You're dead. What up, YouTube? We're gonna be going over another build. This time it's gonna be utilizing guns and a little bit of melee. I'm gonna be using Stabomancer and Brrzerker again, just like my other builds, because I really don't feel like going out and starting a new character. So let's get into the gear of this build. So pretty much any legendary gun that is good is going to be good with this build. I recently got this donkey, so I'm gonna be testing that out. But an alternative gun is the sawmill. Pretty good gun for this build. I would try to get an elemental variant though, because this build does revolve around elemental damage. So if you can get an elemental one, that's good. The blue cake is pretty good. Obviously the sword explosion powered as hell. White Rider ×2, and then Queen's Cry. Queen's Cry was a critical part of my last build as well. It's just overall good with the taser attachment and utilizing the Universal Soldier. So the main bread and butter is having, you don't have to have a Wailing Banshee, but the Wailing Banshee is the highest output melee weapon. So we're going to be utilizing Echo. So get you a Wailing Banshee with Echo. And when you pair it with the Sword Explosion or a high damaging weapon, you can shoot them. You can shoot like a boss with the stickies on the Sword Explosion. And then you can hit them with the Wailing Banshee and it does massive damage. I'll have some clips either before or after I explain the build a little bit more. But yeah, we're gonna have some clips to show off, you know, how to utilize that. But like I said, as for the guns, just utilize anything that's good. This shotgun is pretty good. I just recently got this. I didn't even know it was in the game. And yeah, so as far as our gear down here, you know, the recent ring nerf, this is actually a buff. So if you can get you a Shark's Mane, it increases the effectiveness by 30%, 33%. So if you get good passives, as you can see, I don't really have good passives, but I just use it for the 30% gun damage right now. If I get a better one with better passives, that's what I'll use. And obviously the mood ring, I think, is still overall the best ring in the game. And plus with this ring, I have action skill cooldown and action skill duration, so that's not too bad. Now, when we move over to the shields. Body rune, any high capacity shields do good on this. So that's what I've been using, Desperate Body Rune. I got this volatile one, but this chaotic one right here, if you can get this enchantment, really good. Necklaces, I use the Universal Soldier. The only reason I use this is because the 40% gun damage and the Stabomancer power, along with the cooldown rate, plus whenever you do melee damage, you get a 30% chance to instantly reload all your guns. So when you're doing damage and you get those ethereal blades to spawn, which we'll talk about in our skills, you can get a chance to reload your guns, which is pretty helpful. Buff Meister, you can use any spell buff. You don't necessarily have to have a buff Meister. The marshmallow, the gelatin is pretty good just to get those status effects going, and the marshmallow leaves healing marshmallows after it blows up, so utilize that how you will, or use a buff Meister, it's up to you. Now the class mod, the only reason I wanted to get this build out here is because Moxie just recently went over this class mod, and I'll post a link to his video in the description below to pretty much help you all along with using this class mod, because there's ins and outs that I don't know about that he has insight on. But I've been using this class mod since day one. It's the only class mod that I think is pretty much, overall the best. You get survivability with the dark magic damage, and it converts 30% of all your damage to dark magic, so you're getting healed while doing damage. And mine comes with these two good skills which I utilize in my build, which is movement speed increases and damage based off of movement speed. So if you can get this one, I would get this one. If not, just, it doesn't really matter, but the movement speed increases are amazing. If I can find a better one that's volatile, the damage would probably skyrocket. And I got good rolls on this because we got 30% critical hit chance, which goes great with our Universal Soldier. We got gun damage, which we're utilizing, and we get more health. So it's just, I got a good roll, even though it's not, chaotic, primordial, volatile. I got a good roll. So that's the gear. The only thing I could say you could switch out, if you don't want to use the Queen's Cry, you could switch this out and use blood bags. Now the blood bags, what they do is they cap your health when your health is full when you're doing dark magic damage. So this increases your survivability more. I have a really good one right here. You can use any necklace really, but these are the ones that's going to help you in the long run. So let's go over our skills, and before that, let's go into our rank. Crit damage and status damage I max out because we're utilizing a lot of status effects, and then dump the rest into either crit chance or spell cooldown. Or skill cooldown. As far as our skills, I don't know like the ins and outs of the skills, so I'm gonna just go over what I have, and if I feel like anything needs an explanation, I'll explain it. So we got the melee damage, we got the status effect damage and duration, we got the damage increase based on how many status effects we have on enemies. So this increases for each status effect you have, so that's why I said this is a status effect build. And then we go to our movement speed. We increase our movement speed by 16% with the added point from our class mod, and then we have melee attack speed, and if we cast a spell, this gets doubled, so that's pretty good. And then damage dealt based on how fast we're going. So walking speed, we get a default 18%, and I don't know how much it increases after that, but there you go. And then with this, we can sprint while shooting, and then we have a 10% chance to evade all damage. So, pretty good. Increases our survivability. Obviously, contagion, spread chance, and new status effect damage is 50% of applied status effect damage. So we just get half of the damage that our original one is applied to if we get a spread. Okay. Alchemic agent is only good for our ethereal blades. So when we're doing our ethereal blades, alchemic agent is good because it can apply those status effects. And then we have 1,000 cuts, which just increases our damage dealt if we get critical hits. And then if we do melee, it guarantees us additional stacks. So that's as far as the Stabomancer goes. Brrzerker, we got frost damage just to increase our frost damage because we are using a frost buffmeister. So if you're not using a frost buffmeister, you can allot these 5 points to melee damage, to health regen, but if you're not using frost damage, then put those points somewhere else. Icebreaker is because slowed enemies get increased damage dealt, and frozen enemies get increased damage. So if we freeze an enemy or if they're slowed, we get more damage. This is always a given for Brrzerker for me because it just gives us a flat out damage reduction and damage when we're close to enemies. So if we go in a melee something, we're automatically getting this 30% increased damage and damage reduction. And then with this, our ward is halved. No, our ward is halved, and it isn't converted into max health. So we get more survivability that way because shields are very delicate in this game. And on Chaos 35, your shields are getting one shot pretty much every time. So that's the skills. This build is pretty good. You'll see from the clips that I show that it melts a lot of stuff, and we can utilize melee damage with echo. So like I said in the beginning, we're utilizing gun damage and melee damage, and you could convert this into a melee build if you wanted to, if you just swap out these for melee rings, and just started swinging. So that's all I got for you guys. If you have any comments that could potentially help the build, or you enjoy the build, let me know down below. And I'll see you boys later. Peace.